only seems like a few days ago, well, maybe a few weeks ago, that we were just down here doing the groundbreaking ceremony to mark the beginning of building this rail park. And here we are today, as you can see around you, with a little bit of construction still going on, but it looks like it's mostly taken its shape, and it's ready to go. We're up and we're operational, and all the infrastructure is in, and we could bring a train in today and continue on tomorrow. So it's a great day for everybody. So it's a long time in coming. We have a bunch of great speakers to bring up and people to honor here. And of course, I could speak about every one of you, and I guess I'd just say look to your right, look to your left at the people that you're standing and sitting by, and thank them, because each and every one of you is the reason why we're here. Each and every one of you are the ones that have been a part of this, whether you just became a part of it or you've been a part of it for the last 10 years. This is a historic moment. This is a great day for us to get this park up and running, to drop one more domino in the series of dominoes that are going to take place over the course of the next 3 to 4 years, or maybe less, according to Tom Jentz, and we will have an all-new downtown Kalispell. So congratulations to all of you. I do want to recognize our guests, of course, but I just have to say that there were two organizations that really were the backbone that tried to make sure that this stayed on course and continued on, and will be the backbone that will continue to work together over the course of the next several years, and that is Flathead County as well as the City of Kalispell. So congratulations to all of you that are associated with those two organizations as well. Well, of course, this type of an event, this type of a project is so large and so many people involved, and certainly the two organizations, Northwest Drywall and CHS, being willing to work with us and being willing to move and be the new tenants in the rail park makes all the difference in the world. And that was no small feat for everybody to work together to make sure that that occurred. So again, I just want to say thank you to the Mowers and Northwest Drywall and CHS, Mark Lallam and his team. It's been an honor to work with both organizations to bring this to bear. And over the next, as I said, several months, you'll see all of this construction continue on and finish out, and it will change this park and prepare us for what's going to happen in downtown Kalispell with the removal of the track. As well, we could have never started this project without the help of our city, local, state, and government officials in our corner, helping us to make sure that all of the traps were run and all of the opportunity was created to start with the ability to buy this park, to continue on with the ability to get a wonderful $10 million grant to be able to make this happen. The City of Kalispell, of course, matching that. Flathead County EDA working hard to make sure all these relocations could occur. So with that, I'd like to recognize Senator John Tester, who has been instrumental in making all of this happen, and I think he'd like to come up here and say a few words.
Well, thank you very much. This is another great day in Kalispell. I think it was 13, 14 months ago we were over to the left a bit on a little bit warmer day when there were bulldozers and cans and everything moving dirt, and I think Don told me they'd have this thing ready in a year, and here we are today with the infrastructure. I want to back up a little bit earlier though. When it was, and I don't exactly know when it was, Catherine, probably 2010, there was a delegation of folks that came to Washington, D.C. that met with then Senator Baucus, myself, and Congressman Rehberg, and had this plan. Had this plan for a Tiger grant that was going to really reform not only downtown Kalispell, but give opportunities for businesses to move here and job creation here in the Flathead. And they worked and worked hard, and they all worked together, and they never gave up. And they came back, and we were able to help them meet the right people and talk to the right people and reinforce what they were saying to the folks in the Department of Transportation. And quite frankly, it was that their ability to work together through different administrations, I might add. People came and people went off of that, but they all had the same vision in mind to get this project done, and that's why we're here today. And so I just want to thank them as we look at a 40-acre project that is truly going to transform Kalispell, because not only do we have the business environment out here that's going to be conducive to a good business climate and good job creation, but we also have the ability to do some things in Kalispell that's going to change the look of Kalispell over the next decade pretty amazingly, quite frankly, with retransformation of those properties into whether it's affordable housing or retail or parks or whatever it may be, or all the above as far as that goes. So I just want to say it's time to pat one another on the back, but really the leadership and the different groups that came together and never gave up. And I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of that.
Thank you, Senator Tester. Well, I got to say, as a father myself, there's no greater opportunity than the opportunity to walk your daughter down the aisle. And that's exactly why we don't have Senator Steve Daines here today, is because he was heavily involved in making sure that that was a great day for his daughter on Saturday. So I want to bring up, on behalf of Senator Daines and his office, Ron Catlett, to say a few words.
Thank you, Jerry. As he said, my name is Ron Catlett. I'm with the office of Senator Steve Daines, and yes, unfortunately, he was unable to make it this morning. However, he did write a letter that he asked me to share with you all this morning. To the community of Kalispell, thank you for the opportunity to share a few words with you today on this momentous occasion as we christen the Glacier Rail Park. Today we celebrate the culmination of years of hard work of so many people. I want to especially congratulate the City of Kalispell, the Flathead County Economic Development Authority, Montana West Economic Development, and the Kalispell Chamber of Commerce who spearheaded this project. Your work is an inspiration to communities across Montana who seek to improve their economies and livability. Keep up the great work. The Glacier Rail Park will serve as a vital industrial anchor for this community. This 43-acre site will allow businesses to have easy access to rail services near the heart of the city. The railroad and the businesses that rely on it have been an important component of Kalispell's economy since the city's founding, and this rail park ensures that this will continue for many years to come. And I was glad to support the Tiger Grant application for this project, and I've enjoyed watching your progress. I look forward to the next phase of this project, which is the redevelopment of the Kalispell core area. With the removal of the railroad tracks, downtown Kalispell can be reconnected and developed into a world-class place to live, shop, recreate, and do business. It is an honor to serve as your U.S. Senator, and I look forward to seeing what the future holds for this great Montana city. And if I can ever be of assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out. God bless. Steve Daines, U.S. Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Well, we could never get any of these projects kicked off without the great help of the U.S. Department of Commerce, especially the Economic Development Administration, which was instrumental in giving us a grant at Flathead County EDA to be able to purchase this property and begin all the work on it. So I'd like to bring up Kirk Kaiser from the Department of Commerce and say a few words for us as well.
As Jerry said, my name is Kirk Kaiser. I'm a representative for EDA in Montana and Wyoming. And as you were saying, this has been a long time coming. I was visiting with John Rogers, my predecessor, and he commented that he thought when he started with EDA in the late 80s, early 90s, that he thought this was mentioned then. So definitely it has been a long time coming. And I bring a letter sent from Dennis Alvord, who is our Deputy Assistant Secretary for EDA. And he writes, on behalf of the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration, I congratulate you on the grand opening of the City of Kalispell's new Glacier Rail Park. One of EDA's top priorities is to make strategic investments aiding the development of American communities to stimulate future economic success. Your new rail park will achieve this goal in Montana by building the capacity of the city to anticipate and respond to community and business needs. In addition, the rail park will support the goals of various local and regional economic development partners. The new and improved infrastructure will be a great asset to the community and the surrounding areas. With the rail park's available transload services, local companies will be able to expand and attract new manufacturers to your community. At EDA, we are proud to be your partner. Our $850,000 investment helped you acquire this property so you could begin the process of developing it to attract business opportunities to the region. We look forward to seeing how the rail park transforms your community through new and expanded companies, more jobs, and the growth and expansion of your downtown. We commend you for your strategic vision and for your dedication to the regional collaboration and partnership building, and wish you many years of success. Sincerely, Dennis Alvord.
Thank you, Kurt. Well, before I bring up our next guest speaker, I just want to say a few words of thanks to a number of the construction firms that were instrumental in getting us to this point as well. And I'm going to miss some, so I just want to recognize those that we at Flathead County EDA were working with for the most part, starting with, and many of you probably don't even know this, the Columbia construction crew that moved those grain bins or bins, the wood chip bins over there for Klingler Lumber is what first started this off. So I want to congratulate them. And then of course LHC. LHC is the reason we're standing here a full 3 months ahead of schedule, celebrating this great opportunity that we've got. So for all the LHC guys standing in the back, thank you very much. So along with that continued recognition, I want to bring up my colleague and partner in this project, Kim Morisaki. She has been around since the dawn of time, and been working this project since the dawn of time. So we're all grateful to have her, and she's just going to recognize many of the Flathead County EDA members as well. So come on out, Kim.
Say, if I've been around since the dawn of time, when did Jerry show up? So, I wrote down a couple of things because when I get emotional, I tend to forget things, and there are a lot of people to thank, and I don't want to forget anyone. So, but before I get into that, I do want to mention that in the back, a very nice lady from the Stumptown Historical Society brought the original silver spike from 1892. It is back there for you to take a look at with some historical documents, copies of them from the books from 1892 that are at the courthouse that have Charles E. Conrad's name on them, and lots of historical data. So take a look at that. That's a pretty awesome story. So thanks, Jill, for bringing that. So I also want to take some time to recognize the vision and courage that were instrumental in bringing this project to fruition. When we began talking about having a rail-served industrial park in the Flathead Valley, not the first time back in the 80s or the second time in the 90s, but in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. When we began talking about that, some of the obstacles that needed to be overcome were pretty monumental. And they were location, they were financing, they were environmental. And in that 2010-2012 timeline, there was a group of FACETA board members who spent considerable amount of time discussing the options and the challenges and how we would overcome them. At that time, the members of the Flathead County Economic Development Authority were Turner Askew, Jeannie Lucky, Paul Johansson, Rick Blake, Lyle Mitchell, Don Bennett, and Gary Hall. They vetted many locations and supported the staff as we began the process of applying for the special EDA grant that Kirk mentioned. And I just want to thank them, and I would like for them to stand up so we can give them a round of applause. If they hadn't been willing to have the vision and the courage to start that conversation, none of us would be here today. And then, over the last 8 years, we have headed down several paths that turned out to be dead ends before we ended up here at this location, where we then went through another involved vetting process. Almost every month there was a new challenge, whether it was environmental or ownership or financial or engineering, and we pivoted any number of times. I've lost count of how many times we had to pivot to make this happen. And all along the way, we kept picking up new partners, because when you run into problems and you need to solve a challenge, you look around and you think, who cares about this, and who will help us, and who's got the skills and the knowledge to solve the problem and get us to the next step? And there were a lot of people. Most of them are here today, or many of them are here, but not all of them. The group of board members eventually joined by the Kalispell City Council and continued to have vision and courage to problem solve and advocate for this rail park. And this rail park is going to assist businesses, it's going to have greater economic development, and it's going to transform the city of Kalispell. Over the years, we added 2 new board members, Tony Brockman and Justin Alman. I don't know if Justin's here, but Tony, you should stand up. I want to thank them for their tireless support and the tireless giving of their time as volunteers, and it was an unbelievable amount of time over the years that they all gave. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Just 2 weeks ago, FACETA and the City of Kalispell received the Montana Economic Development Association's 2018 Innovation Award. It's in recognition of innovative financing solutions and the ability to partner with so many public and private entities. So we were recognized statewide for this. I want to read to you the names that are on here. In addition to FACETA and the City of Kalispell, there's also Montana West Economic Development, the Kalispell Business Improvement District, the Montana Department of Commerce, the U.S. Department of Commerce EDA, the U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Rail Administration, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, BNSF Railway, and Watco Company's Mission Mountain Rail. That's a textbook example of a public-private partnership that has succeeded. So again, pat yourselves on the back, because all of you made this happen. Finally, I want to thank all the Montana West Economic Development members who worked with the FACETA board and supported the staff's use of time over 8 years to bring this to fruition. Without the 100+ companies and entities that support economic development in the Flathead Valley, the chances of us being here, again, are pretty slim. So I would like, if you're a member of Montana West Economic Development or work for a company that is, please stand up. We'd love to thank you as well for supporting economic development in the Flathead. We appreciate it. Because of you, I get to have a job that I love every day, so thank you so much. So, thank you.
Thanks, Jacqueline. And thank you to all of you. You can tell that it takes more than a village, it takes an entire state in this particular example. So our next guest speaker, I just want to say a few words about. When I took this opportunity to work for Montana West and Flathead County EDA 2 years ago from my good friend Kelly Danielson, who's here with us as well, I got an opportunity to meet a great guy who's our next speaker. And the first thing that we did together is recognize that we both like motorcycles, and we embarked about just a little earlier than this time of the year, 2 years ago, on a motorcycle trip over to Shelby to see how the rail parks were built over there, and then our desire was to go down to Great Falls and see how they did it, and then all the way back. I don't know if you've ever done that tour, but that's a pretty fast tour. And we were trying to do that all in one day, and it was really cold. So we bonded in a way that no two people could bond, you know, over our motorcycles. So I'll bring up my good friend and fellow motorcycle partner of the city of Kalispell's city manager, Doug Russell.
So I do have several comments today, but before I get into those, I'd like to bring up all of our city council members that are here today. We don't have everyone. It is a Monday. We do have a lot of people that are working. Some are out of town. But for those that are here, I would really like you to come up here because very instrumental in this project. So I know we have Councilman Kyle Waterman, Ted Graham, and Tim Klusner. And I was over there contemplating the statements I was going to make, and I don't think I've ever started off speech or a presentation by saying, I'm going to quote Mike Tyson in saying that everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. And the reality of that is, on this project over the years, it starts out with a vision. And it's a vision that gets bought into, and then you start coming into the obstacles. And over these past 6 years, it would have been so easy at any point in time for the members of the governing body just to say, this is too much, and to pull back on their support. But they never did that, in spite of anything they were facing, be it financial issues, legalities associated with different components of the project, just how we're going to get it done. And that's amidst the natural risk aversion that happens in local government, because there's really never a shortage of opportunities for criticism or for questions about, you know, the future and where things are going to go. But I honestly have to give so much credit, because the vision always maintained, and the governing body that we have here has created a culture that would accept obstacles and accept those moments of failure, knowing that if we keep working, we would find new solutions and we would find opportunities to overcome those obstacles. And that's how you get projects that have been 40 years in the making to fruition, by having that environment and that culture. And because of that vision of this governing body, it gives us the opportunity to continue to work towards those items. So please join me in recognizing the governing body for the city of Kalispell.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks, City Council members. Our next guest speaker is very instrumental in all of railing. We have with us Mr. Matt Jones here from Burlington Northern to say a few words. Come on up, Matt.
Good morning. Thank you very much. It is such a pleasure to be here this morning. I started with BNSF about 5 years ago, and I handle government affairs for BNSF here in Montana. And one of my very first meetings out in the field was on this site. And it looked very different 5 years ago than it does today. And I'm just here to say congratulations to the community of Flathead County and Kalispell. This was a tremendous effort. And the tenacity, and Kim talked about the roadblocks and the adjustments that had to happen over the course of completing this project. It's just it was an incredible effort, and you're all to be congratulated and thanked for your efforts. BNSF is very excited about this, and we're also very appreciative of our customers and our partner Watco companies in this effort. It's a really exciting asset for the community, and we look forward to growing businesses here in the valley with all of you. And I'd also like to say thank you very much to Senator Tester and Senator Daines. We heard on a regular basis from those offices, making sure that this this effort kept going, and so your efforts were very important to this process as well. So thank you and congratulations to all of you.
Thanks, Matt. Well, at the end of the day, this thing's going to go operational, and being operational, you sure as heck don't want me running it. So we're going to bring in the experts to be able to do that. Matt mentioned Watco companies, and we're fortunate enough to have their representative here as well. So I'm going to bring him up to the mic. And so, Ted Cadow, come on up.
Thank you, Jerry. So as Jerry mentioned, I'm Ted Cadow. Good morning, everyone. I just want to thank you first off for the opportunity to speak with you this morning and have the opportunity to speak this morning and express the excitement of the Mission Mountain Railroad and Watco Companies, our parent company, for the opening of this beautiful rail park. This park represents the culmination of an enormous amount of hard work, planning, and organization by a long list of Kalispell economic development, business, and public leaders. We're very enthusiastic here at the MMT, the Mission Mountain Railroad, for the benefits that this industrial park will be bringing to our valued customers in this community. And we're particularly excited about the prospects this park creates for future economic development in our community, as well as improved safety through the elimination of 6 railroad crossings in downtown Kalispell. Kalispell is just a fantastic city and a beautiful area of our country, and the Glacier Rail Park is a great extension of this city that will produce a strong return in job creation and resident retention and an infrastructure that will attract and retain local business. At the MMT, we stand ready to provide any assistance that we can in growing this park and making sure it's successful. So thank you again, and we look forward to the future.
Thanks, Ted. I also want to recognize Kyle Jeske, who's over here, the general manager for Watco and Mission Mountain. And they are going to be our operators here in the park, as I mentioned. They will also be the property managers down here. So if you're ever not quite sure about the way the park looks, or you want to make a complaint, I think Kyle will be the guy that will be absolutely ready to take those. So forget my number and call Kyle, right? No. Well, I think we're going to move to the final part of this celebration here with regard to yes, gosh. Whenever you thank people, you always forget somebody. So I apologize for not right up front thanking and appreciating and recognizing KLJ Engineering, who has run this project from the start with the city of Kalispell. So for all the KLJ folks that are in the audience, congratulations to you on this great day. You have no idea what that's going to cost me for leaving them out. So I apologize for that. So I'm going to turn it over to Kim, and I think we've got the start of the symbolic driving of the gold spikes to kick this thing off. But we also would like to bring up Jeannie Lucky on behalf of Flathead County EDA, just to say a few words about the amount of time that everybody has put into this project, going way back in time.
Thank you, Jerry, and good morning, everyone. I'm Jeannie Lucky. I'm a founding member of both Montana West and the Economic Development Port Authority. You know, it's one thing to have a vision, but to take that vision and to work with such an incredible group of people and turn that vision into reality is totally awesome. So it was sometimes one painful step at a time, but boy, did we ever keep our eye on the end game. And here we are at the end game. So from my perspective, I cannot wait to see what this rail park looks like a year from now, and to see what kind of commerce develops as a result of it. I can't wait to see what downtown Kalispell is going to look like 5 years, 10 years from now. I mean, it is truly going to be awesome. And I hope I'm around to see it all, I'll tell you. So with that, that, I think it's time to kind of pound a few spikes and get the ball rolling here. And